Hello, sports fans. I want to welcome everyone to another edition of Sportsmemo's Pro Football Forecast. I am your host, world champion handicapper, Las Vegas's biggest daily sports bettor, Joe D'Amico. My friends, you're going to receive a ton of free winners and have a few laughs too with some of Sports Memo's documenting winning cappers. Today's show is going to be our best yet. I promise you. Don't go nowhere. Not only are you going to get a ton of winners, you're going to have a few laughs. You're going to get to know some of the best guys, not just in the world, but specifically in this business. Guys, we feature Rocky Atkinson today. Ronald Cabang, Jesse Schule, myself, Joey D. Sports fans, you're going to see discount codes flashing across the screen the entire show for our documented winning cappers. We at Sports Memo know that saving you money just as good as making you money. So take advantage of those discounts, folks, because we want to earn your trust. So look at those discounts, 55% off any capper 3 days package. Use code FORECAST55. Now, without any further ado, I want to jump right in to our first guest. Sports fans, there's Rocky Marciano, there's Rocky Graziano, and there's Rocky Atkinson. And the last one is the best champion of them all. Rocky, welcome to Sports Memo Pro Football Forecast.
Thank you, Joe. First game I'm going to look at is the Sunday night football game. Marquee matchup here. Kansas City Chiefs travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens on Sunday night football. Kansas City comes in 1-0 overall this year. Baltimore comes in with an 0-1 record on the season. Both offenses were solid in week one. Kansas City had 324 yards passing and 397 total yards. The Raven defense allowed 409 yards passing, 491 total yards in their opener against the Raiders. Now they face a Chiefs team with a better quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City's 5-1 straight up and against the spread the last 6 meetings in Baltimore. Kansas City's 2-0 straight up and against spread overall versus Baltimore the past 3 years. The road team is 7-3 against the spread the last 10 meetings overall in this series. Kansas City comes in very healthy, while Baltimore has a huge injury list. So I'm going to recommend a play on the Kansas City Chiefs, lay in the small number on Sunday night.
Rocky Atkinson says take the Kansas City Chiefs. Really, the biggest game so far we've seen this season in the NFL. And I got to tell you, Rocky's made a believer out of me. Sports fans, Rocky's always on the leaderboard over at Sports Memo. He's been doing great work for decades. I know he looks like a very young man, but he's an old soul in this business, and he's been winning for a long time. Rocky, can you tell everybody what you got going on NFL premium side, please?
Yeah, well, I cashed last night in the NFL with the New York Giants, and that pushed my documented record in football this year to 80% this year. I've got 2 NFL plays loaded right now for Sunday. Be sure to jump on board, and as Joe said, grab that discount now for all of these cappers on the panel here.
Ladies and gents, Rocket Man himself, Rocky Atkinson. Our next guest, guys, one of my favorite guests. You're going to see him just about every week on the show. Not only is he a great guest and just somebody I admire and respect, but he is a winning handicapper. You always see him on the leaderboards. Ronald Cabang, Mr. U-Capper. Ronald, what's going on, buddy? NFL Sunday.
Yeah, my first NFL game is going to be the Raiders at Steelers. After Monday night, all I can say is the Raider offense is legit. After a slow start, they made smart in-game adjustments to get the ball out quicker. And Derek Carr, he made all the right reads. The Raiders play another strong defensive unit in the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll likely need to make some of the same adjustments in game. And Waller, basically, he had 19 targets last week, and he's going to be once again, a huge part of that game plan. And the Steelers are going to need to figure out how to slow him down. The Steelers offense, they didn't do too much last week against the Bills. They only had 1 offensive touchdown. And though I think they'll be, better against this Raider defense this week, the big question is, do the Steelers have enough offensive power to keep up with the Raiders? I'm thinking the Steelers do enough to just win the game, but the Raiders cover the spread. I'm taking Raiders +6.
Ronald Cabang says Raiders +6. By the way, Ronald, I was at the Monday night game. I had a lot of fun. I sat with some NBA players who are current players, so they'll remain nameless. But I actually had Ice Cube come over because I know him from back in the day. Come over and sit with me, BS, talk a little chit-chat on who we like this football season. It's a great place to see a game. I highly recommend it. But let's go back. Ronald, I know everybody out there loves that Raider play. What else do you have for them on NFL this weekend?
This week, I'm probably going to have 3 premium plays for Sunday. Those are probably going to be up tonight, Friday night, for you guys to purchase through the weekend.
There you go, Ronald Cabang. He's got some stuff up there posted. Go after it. Use that discount, 55% off any capper 3-day package. Use code forecast 55. All right, guys. He's a perennial on the leaderboards. I love him. You love him. Mr. Jesse Schule.
All right. So the first week on this show, I gave out 2 picks. Went 1-1, which is not great. We're looking to improve on that. But I gave out the Titans and I gave out the Seahawks. So the Seahawks, they took care of business in Indianapolis, and the Titans got embarrassed by Arizona. But one of the keys of sports betting, especially in the NFL, especially heading into week 2, is not to fall victim to recency bias. So how much are we going to read into the Titans' loss, and how much are we going to read into the Seahawks' win? I'm going to say not 6.5 points worth. At the end of the day, the Titans were the 3rd-ranked offense in the NFL last year, averaging over 30 points per game. They've added Julio Jones. Now, they didn't look great in week 1, but let's remember Seattle last year. Only Atlanta was worse against the pass than this Seattle defense. The statistics will say that Seattle is 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 coming off of a win, and they are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 versus a team with a losing record. And the Titans have won 2 of the last 3 head-to-head meetings, and all 3 of those games were quite close. So we're looking at Tennessee plus 6.5.
Jesse Schule says Tennessee plus 6.5. He's made a believer out of me, guys. I know he's made a believer out of you. Jesse, can you tell our viewers what else you have going on the premium side, NFL?
Well, I mentioned I go big on Saturday with 10 plays. It's the same story on Sunday. We got Premier League soccer. We got CFL. Of course, we got an all-early 3-pack in the NFL with a favorite, an underdog, and a total to get things started. So you get that 55% off at a 3-day package. Man, are you getting your money's worth?
Jesse Schule, he's offering you guys a buffet of winners. He's got different sports. He's got favorites. He's got dogs. He's got totals. He's got it all. Use that 3-day discount. 55% off any capper. Forecast 55, guys. It'll pay for itself in the first few hours. Sports fans, yours truly. I'd like to talk about the Denver-Jacksonville matchup. Guys, I like Urban Meyer. I like Trevor Lawrence. However, I like what I see in the Denver Broncos a heck of a lot more. Teddy Bridgewater and Melvin Gordon provide the perfect 1-2 punch to knock out most NFL defenses. And the Jacksonville defense, if you want to call it that, guys, they are in for a longer season than last year, it looks like. Last week against Houston, they allowed 289 yards passing, 160 yards rushing. Bridgewater and Gordon are salivating right now. They just can't wait for the kickoff to come this Sunday. I'm going to tell you, on the flip side, Von Miller and the ferocious Broncos linebacking core are going to go after the young Lawrence, wreak havoc, create turnovers. Denver is still a well-kept secret to offer at value. And remember, all of sports betting, particularly pointed sports, are about value. Guys, at least for another week, they're going to be under the radar, but not for long. Here's some ATS stats for you. Jacksonville, 3-8 the last 11 versus the AFC, 2-5 the last 7 at home, 1-4 the last 5 overall. Under a touchdown here, I think, is an early Christmas present as well. I'm playing the Broncos. Follow me all the way to the bank, guys. I've got a few other big games going off this weekend in the NFL, sports fans. To be honest with you, we talked about this before on the show. I'm a less is more type of guy. I'd rather have one wife like Heidi Klum than 100 like Rosie O'Donnell. I look at 1 or 2 or 3 plays that I really like that I feel are head and shoulders above the rest. So this Sunday on the entire board, I have isolated 2 winners. My 1-0 high roller, my coveted 62-14 Las Vegas straight move. Both are 1-0 already, I should say. You can get all my individual winners as well as my long-term discounted programs over at Sportsmemo, guys. Or just follow me for a couple of days. Follow anybody on this panel or anybody at Sportsmemo. Guys, you're going to get great winners on this show from the panel here. These are documented winning cappers. They don't just do this by luck. This isn't what we do. This is who we are. While most people are sleeping, even a lot of other handicappers in the business, guys like Rocky, Ronald, Jesse, and myself are up working diligently. We're putting in the hours. We're using our connections, our savvy, our background, and our sources to make sure that you stay ahead of the game. So even if you don't follow one of the cappers on this broadcast, and I want you to, Go to Sportsmemo, follow some of the other documented winners because you will stay ahead of the game. Now, guys, very quickly, I spoke to my good friends over at the Westgate, my favorite book in Vegas, possibly the world. Guys, and if whether you live here in Vegas or you're visiting, make the Superbook at the Westgate a stop because they offer more bets than just about anybody in the world. I'll tell you that. And not only that, if you just want to watch a game, have a fun place to watch a game, great environment, great place to watch a game, a lot of fun. Westgate, I spoke to my friends over there. They told me about two big line movements they want everybody out there to know about. First of all, the Chiefs, guys, they opened at 2.5. It was now up to 4. They think it's going to go up even further. One-sided bets. The sharps bet it. That's the sharp money players, the wise guys, the in-the-know guys. They bet it at 2.5. They bet it at 3. And then the general public piled it on because they thought the wise guys knew something they didn't. Due to the Ravens' Monday night performance, they feel that the Chiefs are going to not just win, they're going to cover this game pretty big. The second game I want to let you know about, the Chargers opened 3. They moved it up to 3.5. Anticipation as the public's reaction to injuries on Dallas. It makes a lot of sense. There was a couple of injuries that came out officially today. And in the anticipation in that, the people at the Westgate said, well, we're going to start getting pummeled with bets on one side. Let's at least move it. Hedge our, not so much hedge our bets literally, but hedge our bets figuratively, guys. 2 big line moves I wanted you to know about in the NFL. Guys, we've got more winners. We got more fun from some of the best handicappers on the planet over at Sports Memo. Let's go right back in. Rocky Atkinson.
Yes, sir, Joe. Next NFL game I'm looking at is Minnesota Vikings travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals on Sunday afternoon. Game time's 4:05 p.m. Eastern time. Minnesota comes in 0-1 overall this season. Arizona is 1-0 on the season. Minnesota had 336 yards passing last week, 403 total yards in the opener last weekend. Arizona looked incredible in their road win over Tennessee in week 1. And I don't think anybody saw Arizona winning by that much over a decent Tennessee team. And right now I'm seeing 82% of the tickets on Arizona in this one, which don't surprise me a bit, but the line hasn't moved it much, only a half a point, making me believe there's some smart money on the Vikings here. Minnesota's 38-17 against the spread last 55 games after a straight-up loss. Arizona's 7-19 against the spread last 20 as a home favorite. Arizona's 0-4 against the spread last 4 games after scoring 30 points or more in their previous game. The underdog here is 6-2-2 against the spread last 10 meetings overall in the series. And Minnesota's 3-0-2 against the spread the last 5 meetings overall against Arizona. I'm going to lean to the Minnesota Vikings to keep this one close and could even get the surprise outright win here.
Guys, he's giving you the stats. He's been giving you winners for decades. Rocky Atkinson says the Vikings. Let's go to another guy who's always winning, getting you people out there paid because that's just what he is. He's a winner. Ronald Cabang.
Yep. So my second NFL game is going to be on the Monday night, Lions versus Packers. The Packers didn't look great at all in any aspect of the game last week. I think Rodgers and company are going to come out on Monday night looking to embarrass the Lions like they were just embarrassed by the Saints. I do think the Packers are going to take advantage of the Lions defense, who's now without Jeff Okudah, who's arguably their best defensive playmaker. Obviously, I think the Packers are going to win this game, but with the spread at 11 and still climbing, and the fact that I think the Packers are still trying to get past all this offseason drama, I'm going to stay away from the spread. I'm going to take my chances on the Lions doing some damage in garbage time again to put this game over the total of 48.5.
Wow. Big total there for Ronald. Over 48.5. I love it, Ronald. Love it, love it, love it. By the way, guys, nobody said anything about the new backdrop we got here. We had it made, the Sportsmemo backdrop. It looks great. I want you to know I had some extra material after I made the backdrop. I made some matching skivvies, some underwear for all of us. So, guys, next week on the show, each one of our panelists are going to be wearing nothing but the Sportsmemo backdrop as skivvies. Going to be a lot of fun. We got to get Jesse without a shirt on. Guys, I joke Jesse a lot because Jesse is a monster workout guy. I see some of the barbells he lifts up. It looks like he's lifting up a 57 Chevy. It is crazy. He's a monster workout. I keep messing with him about getting his shirt off. One of these days, Jesse, we're going to get your shirt off. Speaking of Jesse and his shirt off, No, I tried to segue into that. I took a shot. Guys, I took a shot, sports fans. Listen, we want to have a lot of fun here because we want to make it entertaining. We want to give you good, solid content, but it's always more fun when you're winning. We know that. And speaking of winning, Mister, I'm taking my shirt off next week, Jesse Schule.
All right. Well, you can't make fun of me here for picking the low-hanging fruit, especially after, Joe, you already took Alabama as the big favorite against Florida. I'm going to do the same thing with the NFL. I'm looking at Cleveland minus 12.5 or minus 12, depending on where you're shopping, against the Texans. I already mentioned you don't want to overreact to what happened in week 1. Now, the Texans were at home. They got a surprising win against Jacksonville. But the bad news is they're on the road this week. They're going to go to Cleveland. And you look at what the Browns did last week against Kansas City. And as much as some of the talking heads in this business like to give Baker Mayfield a hard time, I think Baker's actually quite a good quarterback. You consider how bad the Browns were before Baker arrived, and look at how good the Browns are now. Their offensive line is dominating. They ran for 154 yards and 4 touchdowns last week. And you think about that damage they did to Kansas City and what can they do to the Texans. This game will not be close. Cleveland's going to win this one by a few touchdowns at least.
There you go. Jesse Schule says the Cleveland Browns. I have no problem laying wood when we win, Jesse. I had no problem the last segment giving out Alabama. I have no doubt that you're going to –
I love the Alabama pick.
I love it. And I have no doubt that you're going to win for all our viewers out there with the Browns. Sports fans, not normally do we give out information on the same game, but I absolutely love this game. And earlier when Rocky came in with the side, I didn't want to pull back the total because I absolutely love this total, and I want to give it out to everyone. This almost made it as a premium play, and I don't know why it didn't, but I loved it, and I want to give the masses out there a winner. Rocky, if you don't mind, I want to talk about the Chiefs-Ravens. I do feel you're right. I really do feel the Chiefs win this game and cover this game, more importantly. But I feel also once this game is in the books, I think the electrical crew over at M&T Stadium are going to need to change out the light bulbs in the scoreboard because these two teams are going to score so many points. Bulbs are going to burn out. Sports fans, once again, the Chiefs are offense. What else? Offense. They put up 33 on the Browns in their season opener. They did allow 29, but in attendance, like I said earlier in the show, I was in attendance to the Monday Night Football game at Allegiant. And 60 points were scored by the Raiders and the Ravens. Baltimore was supposed to have this big old defense. But what I saw did not impress me because I did watch a very disorganized in their opening game, a lot of excitement, a lot of pressure for the Raiders. I saw disorganized Las Vegas offense accomplish some big plays after big plays after big plays. While the best big play team in the NFL is coming to town here, guys. Neither team is going to let up offensively, especially when both defenses are going to be giving up a couple of points here and there. I look for both Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson to have probably one of their best games of this season. The last 4 meetings in the series, 3 have gone over. The over, 16-6 in Casey's last 22. In the month of September, they start off hot. 4-1 in their last 5 versus AFC opponents. 4-1 in the Ravens' last 5 at home. 11-5 in the Ravens' last 16 versus AFC foes. I like the over here. It's at 55. I really think this game is just going to fly over. I think this game, not that it's going to go in the first half. You're going to see a lot of scoring. I do agree with Rocky. The Chiefs will win. They are the better team, no doubt. I will tell you, though, I think it's going to be a lot of scoring. This is going to be like prom night back in the day. Everybody be scoring. I'll go to hell for that one, but it was worth it, guys. It's only worth it if you pay for it the next day. Guys, let me run over the games one time real quick. Rocky Atkinson, the Chiefs and the Vikings. Ronald, the Raiders in a big total, over 48. Jesse, the Titans and the Browns. Joey D, the Broncos, and an over 55 Chiefs Ravens. Guys, once again, the guys that you see on this show are documented winning handicappers at the most exciting one-stop shop sports betting website on the planet, Sportsmemo. Use the discount you see at the bottom of your screen. 55% off any Kappa 3-day package. Use code Forecast55. Jesse alone, he's got 10 plays each of the next few days. It's going to pay for itself in the first few plays. Rocky Atkinson, for decades, is on top of leaderboards. Ronald Cabang, all this season, since I joined Sportsmemo, I see his name just under the – I see Sportsmemo, I see Ronald Cabang. Sportsmemo, Ronald Cabang. It's like he's in the namesake. It's amazing. It's amazing. Me, guys, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been making money for people. I walk it like I talk it. I wear it. I walk it. I drive it. I live in it. I eat it. And I married it. It's all expensive because I make people money. Take advantage of that 55% off capper 3-day package. Use code Forecast55. I want to thank the most exciting website on the planet, Sports Memo. Like I said, your one-stop shop for all your sports betting needs. Our wonderful panel of experts. Most of all, I want to thank you, our viewers, guys. On behalf of Sports Memo, Rocky Atkinson, Ronald Cabang, Jesse Schule, I'm Joe D'Amico. Good luck and have a winning day.